Yeah, obviously, we played in like 55,000. I think it was semi-final, and that felt like it was packed out. So, to think that it will hit 70, even when I was saying 60, and break a record is pretty crazy, and it just shows how big of a game it is and day it is, especially being the Good Friday clash. So, hopefully, it does hit those numbers. We know our fans will come up and support us, and yeah, it's always a big game.
You mentioned it there. I was going to ask you about what does this game and this fixture mean to the Dogs?
Yeah, it's been a tradition for a while now. We know that it's always a big crowd. Souths are, they always come. They've got a pretty good fan base as well, and the way we're going as well. We know lots of Doggies supporters will be there as well. So yeah, we know it's going to be a good clash, and that's why just starts with our preparation here at training, just preparing for a big week, and as well, that we always speak about it, just embrace it. Hopefully, like I said, we see 60, 70,000, and we just embrace the day as it is, and just can't wait for it.
Elaborating on that a little bit further, how do you ensure that you don't let the emotion of the crowd get to you? Because there's a couple of guys that will have never played in front of this sort of crowd.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of hard, but we speak about it all the time, that just kind of embracing it, and you go out there, if anything, all the younger boys, who are playing, it's mad, playing, maybe they're like 6th, 7th game, even, some of the younger boys who are going to play in front of 70, hopefully 70,000 fans, that's massive. Like, honestly, it's a privilege, honestly, and I'm sure, they'll, when you run out there, you hear it, it's good, but then once the kickoff goes, you kind of zone out and you just focus on that game, and we'll all just focus on our roles. So, yeah.
Jake, before you come in, we were just talking about the stats. I don't know if you know, but 6-0 as a start. The Bulldogs have only ever done that once in history, and it's the 1930s. Like, when you hear that, to kind of put into context just how sort of special what you guys are building here could be.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, when it was, I think when we were going 2-0, then we said, all right, 3-0, I think since, I don't know, I can't remember the date, and then kept going. It's pretty crazy, but, we're just taking it week by week, honestly, and, it's probably not the thing everyone wants to hear, but we actually take it week by week. Cam and the staff do a really good job of, just make sure we just focus on this week. Don't look at too much noise. Obviously, like I said, we embrace it. It's a big part of it, and we're happy our fans can see the success. But yeah, it's still early rounds, and just focus on this week, and then hopefully we go 6-0, and it'll be pretty crazy.
What do you reckon has clicked so well for you guys this year?
Yeah, just the connection, and obviously. For myself as well, I've been 3 years under Ciro now. A couple of the other boys been, a couple of years under Ciro. We're just all connected. Everyone is buying in, and it's just starting to click now. Everyone knows their roles, and we've got a really, really good, friendship group. We're all like brothers. We love each other, honestly, and that's why out on the field you see, if one of us stuff up, make a mistake, all the other boys, we just back them up and help them, and that's what it's about. And like I said, it's just the attitude, and like I said, starts with training. We prep for the week now. We know if we have a good week at training, we'll come on the field.
On that message and that attitude, Jacob, sorry, mate. Critter told me last week that there's a bit of a message this year that it's safe to fail.
Yeah.
That really tweaked. It was like, why is it safe to fail? Winning's everything. Just take me into that mindset and why it's okay to stuff up sometimes.
Yeah, well, 100%, especially when you're talking about training as well. Ciro's big on that. It's safe to fail in terms of, if you're going to make a decision, if you're following all the processes or the system-wise, just go give it your all. Don't hesitate. And if you fail, but you're doing all the systems right, he's not going to he's not going to get angry. He's not going to say, oh, he stuffed up. But as long as you're following the principles, the systems, you're doing what the coaches are telling you. And then, at the end of the day, there's some skillful players out there. It doesn't matter what you do, they'll probably end up, doing a freakish thing, and you just. At the end of the day, it is safe to fail, and I think that's why our training, everyone's just going after it, and the thing is, everyone's actually getting it right, which is pretty good, we just keep at it at training, and we'll just reflect on the field.
You talk about that connection. What does it say about the system and the club that you're 5-0, but you've done it with Matt Burton injured, Billy Owen, injured, you missed the start, but guys like Blake Wilson, Bailey Hayward, they come in and fit in quite seamlessly to keep that going.
Yeah, 100%, and that just shows where we are as a club. You look at the depth, and it's actually mad, and it keeps everyone on their toes as well. You can't be complacent, and that's what you want. You want healthy competition. You want us pushing each other for spots, and that's what it's about. it makes none of us complacent, and yeah, it's like I said, it shows where we are as a club. When those boys were injured, when I was injured, the boys who were in knew what to do, knew how to, it just didn't look like they were out of place, which is, probably the best compliment you can get. It's not like, it was obvious that, I wasn't there, any other boys were there, which is the best thing ever, because, they know their role, and it's just next man up. We're going to have injuries. It's bound to happen, and as long as, someone's getting ready to go and perform, and, I'm sure Sarah has full trust in the whole squad.
That said, how did Berto look at training today, and how big a boost would it be if he returns on Friday?
Yeah, Berto obviously, he trained today. He looked good, and yeah, I'm sure when he goes in, everyone knows what you're going to get from Berto. So yeah, hopefully he's playing this week, and like I said, if not, and he has to have a couple of weeks, it is what it is. We know we got the depth, and it's whatever gets him right. But yeah, obviously, having Berto and possibly kicks back to a big boost. So yeah.
I was going to ask about kicks as well. I saw him warming up, sort of playing from the group, but either way, decision made later in the week, he's certainly in the frame. With a chance to play right.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're training with the boys, and they're obviously in the frame to get picked. So hopefully, they tick all the boxes this week, and yeah, if they tick all the boxes, they'll be in. So yeah.
How do you feel about Hayward's slot in if Berto can't be back? Hayward's going to
Yeah.
play the Friday clash, and you guys haven't won it for years.
Yeah.
How does he fit into the team? What can you guys get for him?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the last 2 weeks, what Bailey's done is very mature. I would say it's a mature performance from him. He's been slotted into hooker, lock. He's been a halfback growing up, but then when he's come into first grade, it was lock and hooker. And just for him to go back there, training probably 2-3 weeks there, and doing what he done, it's a very mature performance from him, and especially being a young half. And we know he'll get the job done. He's one of our best communicators on the field, and yeah, if that's meant to be, it's meant to be, and it's exciting for him because, yeah, I'm sure if he's not there, obviously he'll probably be off the bench anyway, which, it's good for someone like Milky. I think he's 20 games in or so, and to have a Good Friday clash, and like I said, hopefully 60, 70,000, it's honestly, it's the best feeling ever. It's a privilege, and yeah, I'm sure, us boys are all pumped and can't wait to get out there.
Jacob, big game, big crowd.
Yeah.
It's a dress rehearsal for Origin, potentially. What would a sky blue jersey mean to you? You've been mentioned.
I'm not too focused on that at the moment. Obviously, that's what it is. Everyone wants to, put on that jumper, and yeah, I'm just, I've only been back for one game, so I'm not really looking ahead of that. I'm just looking how I can prepare myself and my body every week to go out there and kill it for the Bulldogs, and I'm just so happy where we're at the moment. And yeah, like you said, I'm sure if I'm performing for the Bulldogs and everything's going well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'll put that in all God's timing. And yeah, I'm just happy to be back playing. Like I said, I've only been back one game, so I'm not really looking into all that stuff. And yeah, I just want to do my job for the Bulldogs, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
That said, what sort of confidence can it give you, though, that you're being spoken about as a potential Blues debutant this year, and you've only been back for one game?
Yeah, obviously, it's quite special hearing it. But yeah, I just obviously, everyone speaks and you hear about it. But yeah, honestly, I'm trying not to look into it as much because I'm just really trying to nail down my focus for the Bulldogs. And yeah, it is special hearing your name, especially as a kid you grow up watching all those games. But yeah, like I said, if I focus every week on my job at the Bulldogs, and yeah, help the boys win, and we all do it together, I'm sure that will look after itself.
Not trying to find Laurie's number or anything like that.
No, Laurie.
Thanks, Jacob. So it's time one. The boys have been speaking about the confidence in the squad and everyone stepping in. With that in mind, even to you to be back playing and to potentially have Berto kicks to come back at some point as well. Like the start that you guys have had, does it just kind of give you a bit of extra confidence, excitement? Like what's the emotion knowing that there are still pieces to come together for you guys?
Yeah, it's quite exciting. It's at the back of your head, you kind of you got those boys coming back. But yeah, honestly, every week we play as it is, and we know whoever's on the field is going to do a job, and that's the most confidence we can get. And I'm sure Sarah has the full confidence in whoever fills the job in. And yeah, at the back of your head, you still got kick out Burton, you still got a couple of boys who are injured, and yeah, that just makes everyone be not complacent and work harder because. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty crazy when you think about it, but yeah, I forget sometimes too, because you're so into the game, you forget, wow, like, you know, Birdo still needs to come back, all the boys still need to come back, but, you know, all the boys who have been doing their role has been, you know, doing it, you know, pretty good. So yeah, it's pretty good, and yeah, I just can't wait for, you know, the Good Friday clash. You know, I remember as a kid as well, you know, going to those clashes is pretty crazy, and yeah, you know, it's a sad day as well. You know, it's obviously Jesus died for our sins, and you know, that's a pretty sad day, and yeah, obviously, you know, I'll play for him that day.